Greetings everyone, welcome to the channel, it's Eddie Set Go here, and today I'm here outside Webb's Motorcycles of Lincoln because they have been wonderful enough to lend me this for the afternoon. This is the 2019 Yamaha MT09. If you're watching stateside, it used to be called the FZ09, but I think Yamaha have now crossed the MT brand across the globe, so it is the MT09 wherever you are. It's an 847cc cross-plane triple, punching out a very sprightly 115 brake horsepower wrapped in a very short wheel-based package that weighs just 193 kilos. So you take those two big ingredients, the power and the weight ratio there, and you sprinkle on board a slipper clutch, a quick shifter for the European market, fully adjustable front forks, adjustable traction control, riding modes, and wrap all of that in a bike that costs just £8,300 or this amount in US dollars. And you've got a bike that on paper promises a whole lot. It promises to deliver on so many levels, whether it's in the city, whether it's out on the twisties, carrying a pillion, even out on the track. So unfortunately I'm not taking this out on the track today, but if you do stick around, I will be taking it on some open roads and hopefully having some fun with this thing. So there you go, 2019 Yamaha MT09, let's go. Just to show you where I'm coming from, that's my bike over there. That's my Yamaha Tracer 700. So I'm going up to the cross-plane twin to the cross-plane triple. So yeah, Yamaha MT09. Let's have a look. So, quick ergonomics check. I'm 5'8" tall. The seat height I think is 820 millimeters. I can put both feet near flat on the floor, so that's fantastic for me. I usually, when I stop at the lights, put one foot up on the peg anyway. But that is great. So 5'8" tall, I've got no problems putting both feet down. The bars are nice and wide. They kind of inspire confidence really. They're a bit wider than my Tracer. And you are slightly pivoted slightly forward, but there's not a lot of pressure on the wrists. So that's a winner. Yeah, we'll go about the switchgear as we go. Let's get going. So just point to note, this does have the Akrapovic system on it. So yes, I'm going to start in B mode, which is the lesser of all the modes. And I've also got traction control. Traction control 2. 1, 2 or 1. I guess 2's more, so I'm going to put it in 2 because I don't want to scare myself. It's okay, let's move this thing forward. God, it's so light. It's so light and nimble, it's so tiny. See, that's mine. And the Tracer 700 has a very much longer wheelbase because obviously it's a more touring orientated bike. So the MT09 has a much shorter wheelbase. But to start with, we're just going to go around the town and see how it handles. So this is the standard version. They do obviously the SP version, which comes laden with Öhlins goodies. And I do believe possibly Brembos as well at the front. And I've heard mixed things about the SP version. And a lot of people kind of just go for the standard because it seems to do everything just fine. So we'll see how it goes. So let's just see how we go. Ooh, that quick shifter. Yes. So this is my first time using a quick shifter. I am literally consummating my quick shifter cherry on this ride. I like the tank. The tank's quite nice and reassuringly wide. It kind of makes you want to hug it with your legs, so that's good. Okay, we're just going to Just going to nip out here. I'm so used to having on the trace. I'm so used to having lots of stuff in front of me, but this I feel like I'm literally hanging right over the front wheel. So that's a new experience. I've ridden a Z1000, a Kawasaki Z1000, and that's probably a similar riding position. But in saying that, my back is very upright, so that's nice. And the seat is so small. I'm used to a big cushiony seat on my butt. So, I'm quite intrigued to see how that goes. Oh yeah. Okay. So it's standard Yamaha switchgear, as you can see. It's very straight to the point. That's probably the best way to describe the Yamaha MT switchgear system that we've got going on here. Straight to the point. You've got to remember this bike does cost £8,000. So for example, if you're looking at the Triumphs and the Hondas, the Honda CB1000, those bikes, obviously the quality of the switch gearing and the plastics used, it's all very nice. The KTM has illuminated switch gear. The Yamaha is very straight to the point, and that's fine. It all works, it all works, so that's good. It's going to let me go. Oh god, that's so much power. Good grief. Let's just scoot in front of this guy. Wing mirrors. I need to adjust those wing mirrors. They do look they do look quite functional, I must admit. I just need to maybe adjust that guy. That's better. Oh yeah, so the wing mirrors are quite good actually. They actually do work, so that's good. I can see a bit of forearm in the reflection, but it does give good visibility. So that's nice. I do feel like I'm perched. I do feel perched, whereas the Tracer is much more sat in, like a bit of a comfy armchair. This I feel perched, and that's quite exciting. That's quite exhilarating. So yes, as I was talking about the switchgear, straight to the point. One gripe I have about the Yamaha switchgear is the turn signal, the indicator switch. As you can see, it's just a little knob of plastic there, as you do. And when I've sat on Hondas and Triumphs, I've noticed that when you turn, I used to have an old 2004 R6, and that had a very clunky turn signal indicator switch, which is very reassuring. It kind of clunked when you used it, and that was quite nice. Considering you use it every day a lot of the time anyway, it's with the MT series, it's just like a little plastic. It doesn't really give much feedback, and you probably see me on the videos. I'm often pressing it several times because I'm quite unsure if it's off or not. So in future generations, hopefully Yamaha can give us some more tactile feedback in the indicator turn signal switch. But I'm used to that, so that's not a problem. So yeah, the screen off center looks kind of sporty and different. Again, a lot of the bikes, this one contends with the street triples and your and what else have we got? The KTM and the Hondas. They're all coming out with very lush TFT computerized screens that present information in a very array of colours and rainbows. And again, they are slightly more expensive machines. This one has your LCD display. Everything is clear. Everything's really crystal clear. I'm really starting to feel at home on this now. This is just, this is actually my very first ride, so I'm kind of just bumbling along as I go, but at the same time trying to make sure I kind of give you guys a bit of feedback as to what's happening. But yeah, we've got traction control setting here. We've got your mode that we're in. There's B mode, there's standard, which is your standard. Then you've got A mode, which apparently is lunatic mode. So, oh, this is so smooth. That's so smooth. That's such a smooth engine coming away. That's in first gear. When on my twin, it's kind of a bit juddery when you're taking off, and it judders from kind of gear to gear. This is so smooth. I see why people like this engine so much. I'm just taking along. Okay, we're going to go. We'll go this way. We'll carry on this way. So you've got your gear selector there. What gear you're in? Obviously speed, and you've got your rev counter going up over the thing. Oh, I like that sound. You got your four-way things there. Yeah, this is good. I'm feeling quite nice on this. So the front fork feels a bit squidgy. That's nice. That's not bad. Again, these are fully adjustable front forks, which is great. Considering a bike of this price band. I know the KTM doesn't have adjustables, and I think probably the Street Triple, the R and the RS, they may have adjustables. But again, this is, in terms of price-wise, this compares to the Street Triple S, which is, I think, £100 less than this one. So, and the Street Triple S comes with an LCD and the analog tack, and less gadgets and gizmos on it. So I feel like it's a good move that Yamaha have put the quick shifter on this thing. It just really adds a little element of, it adds another bit of value to the standard package that you get. And I wasn't quite sure about this matte finish, but it's growing on me. It really does, it is quite striking, especially with the red. I usually have red on my bike, so this is quite nice. So yeah, this is a slipper clutch on the left hand here, which is lovely. So that means coming down the gear. I'm looking forward to doing some downshifting, aggressive downshifting, and just see how that feels. I'm actually enjoying being pivoted slightly forward. There's a definite forward pivot going on here, compared to what I'm used to, which is very upright. You know, and if you want to lean forward, then you have to, you really have to lean forward. But this, there is a slight weight on the wrists. So I remember when I originally sat on the bike, it felt very neutral, and like sitting like this, it's absolutely fine. But when you've got both feet on the pegs, you are perched ever so slightly forward. But again, this is a sports bike. This is a sports road bike, the Hyper Naked, as they call it. The eyes of darkness, as Yamaha kind of decree. Quick shifter. Ooh, that's nice. That's a bizarre concept, actually pulling on the accelerator and not having to use the clutch or chain, or close the throttle. That's very nice. So yeah, we'll have a walk around the bike later, just have a look at some of the features, and yes, and customize ourselves as to what this bike can deliver you on the road. I say we're just putting around town, but this is just such an easy, comfortable ride. I think we don't really have to. Leaning over. Oh, that's an interesting experience. Oh yes. Oh yes. This is going to be good. The seat itself is quite flat. From what I'm used to, the seat is a bit more cushiony and a bit more shapely to the butt. This one is. This seat is a bit flatter. See, again, it kind of helps create that perched feeling. I don't feel like I'm not one with the bike, but I'm certainly perched. And it is a flat seat unit. It obviously goes all the way back. There is a pillion seat, which is great. So if my wife wants to go on the back, that is good. I mean, compared to the Street Triples, they have more of a perch. The KTM 790 has a very pillionable seat. So for the majority of riding that we're all going to be doing in the city, over the bump there, just thought I'd go over some bumps to see how they feel. Usually I'm used to being bounced around, but that is quite smooth, and that absorbs things quite nicely. So yeah, majority of the riding we're going to be doing is in the city. This will have absolutely no problem doing that. Stopping, starting, sitting comfortably at the lights, whatever. This is not like a sports bike where after about 20 minutes of sat there, you're going to be having crushed wrists. This is perfectly acceptable. Yeah. Ooh, I like that sound. I feel like the bike is getting a bit twitchy now. It's kind of getting a bit cabin fevery in the town. A bit like Lord of the Rings, where the ring hears its master's call. This bike is kind of hearing the call of the open road, and it's kind of like itching to get out there. And I must obey. So comfortable, really comfortable on this. Sat on a big downhill here, just in traffic, no problems on the wrist whatsoever. I do like that this bike has dual headlamps, which is quite nice. I mean, in my Tracer it has the single headlamp on the side, the pirate look, as they call it. So it's quite nice to have a bit of symmetry on the headlamp system there, the headlamp unit. And this bike has quad LED headlamps, so obviously the main beam overtaking flashes. They have another set of LEDs which come alongside the running lights. It looks very aggressive. I always see ambulances sometimes and think, so, someone's having a very bad day, as you do, someone's having a bad day. But then, you know, someone might be pregnant and giving birth, and they'll be having a wonderful day. So let's hope that it's the latter, and someone's having a wonderful day. Fantastic. He's a pest control, and his number plate is rat. But rats, I've heard they're quite good pets, actually. Yeah, they make quite good pets, and they're very intelligent creatures. Yes, I keep catching the odd reflection. Yes, that's nice. I like that. That's good. It's a nice looking bike. A nice looking bike. I know that previous generations of the MT09 had a single headlamp unit, like a glass bulb unit, and that also looked nice. But I think these quad LEDs, which are kind of synonymous now with the MT09, the MT10, they do give it a very aggressive look. Makes it look mean. The previous MT09 I felt looked a bit friendly and a bit, you know, hello. So I wasn't too sure about these LEDs when I first saw them, but they're growing on me. It really does fit with the character of the bike. Yes. Yes, you've got the when I spoke to the chap at Webbs and we looked at the dash, he was like, "Oh, what does QS mean?" And that refers to the quick shifter. So, which is standard on, like I mentioned before, that's standard on the EU model. Unfortunately, not in the US yet. So maybe everyone in the US, you need to be, you know, doing a petition with Yamaha to make this a standard. Because it does just add that little bit of, when you put all your cards on the table, it does add a little bit of value to the standard package that you get. I don't think it costs very much, a couple of £100, a few $100, but it's just one little thing that you're kind of getting for your money. Oh, big dog. I like big dogs. I think I've got to get used to this quick shifter. There's not a lot of feedback. You know, I can feel my foot obviously moving the lever, but there's no kind of satisfying clunk to note that the gear's been changed. It's a little bit, not hard work, but I thought it might be a bit more kind of clunky, if you know what I mean. I'm all about my clunkness. But we'll see how it goes when we start to push it a little bit. Oh, there's a separate clutch kind of. Yeah, I see. That's nice. That's nice. Okay, let's go around here and up. So, just to remind you, we are in B mode, and there's a dog in the back. He's all excited. We are in B mode, which is essentially rain mode. Let's call it rain mode, and traction control is on full. I wonder where the dog's going. It's exciting adventure. There he is. Exciting adventures ahead. Good grief, there's all the traffic today. And let's just go for it, shall we? Let's just go. Okay, we're just going to. Hello! Oh, I see. Hello! Good grief! So this is B mode. Yeah. Okay. Ah, what you doing, Yamaha? I didn't take it out of B mode. Let's just leave it in there. Let's just be safe. Let's just cozy up under a blanket and be together. Okay. So coming up the gears just then, I was practically just feather touching the gear selector switch, and the bike was changing gears. So I've got to get used to that, really. It's just a feather touch apparently, so that's not bad. There's a little bit of vibration in the right hand. It's not uncomfortable. Just notice it. Hello. You're going around too, aren't you? Ooh, that is very nice. Just you can feel the power. Okay, now there is a parking spot up here. We're going to pull over and we're going to put it in standard mode. We're going to put it in standard. Ooh, that's really smooth. That's really smooth. Super clutch, just in first gear. Just bang it into first gear and it just buttery smooth deceleration there. That's lovely. Okay, simple mode switch. I love that Yamaha. Just it says mode. There's no complication there. Obviously here you've got your traction control up and down. And you'll leave it on 2. And we're going to go into standard mode. Let's see what happens, shall we? Oh, hello. Again, that slipper clutch, that's lovely. I like that. That's nice. Okay, we're just going to let these people go forward there. Smooth, you like. Oh, there's so much power on this wrist. Oh, you dirty! Oh, good job, Yamaha. Good job. I know on all the promotional material they talk about torque rich, cross plane triple, but goodness me, 6th gear just. Oh, Jesus. Oh. Okay. Oh. Holy moly. It's like being on a scary ride at a theme park. You know. Okay. And there's a police officer there. Hello, Mr. Police Officer. Let's just bring it through this guy. And down there. Oh, that's so smooth. Look at that, just gunning it, you know, down into down the gears, and that clutch just grabbing it, smoothing it all out. Let's just bring it around. Oh gosh. Hello. The engine braking, I'm noticing that now. There's not a lot of, you know, in terms of engine braking, the twin that I use, that has bags of engine braking, especially in 2nd gear. You put it in 2nd and downshift. And that really does so much braking, but there's not so much engine braking as I would have imagined, which is interesting. So using a bit of back brake there just to help slow down. It is the power is instant. Okay, so 4th gear in 3000 RPM. I usually put along this in 4th. Let's just pull the throttle. Oh, oh, good grief! It's like the bike is trying to peel you off it. It's just, you know, you kind of... Oh, the power delivery is instant. It's just ridiculous. Let's do it again. So 3000, 4th gear, and... Oh, hello! Hey, hello. I feel like, you know, in the Indiana Jones Temple of Doom, and the guy, just before he gets his heart ripped out of his chest, and he's kind of muttering that chant to himself. I think that's what I'm doing in my head when I'm pulling on the throttle on this thing. I understand what that guy was going through. Maybe. Temple of Doom, bit of a dark film, but anyway. So yeah, usually in 2nd gear, I'm used to the bike really braking, but this is interesting, there's not a lot. Let's just bring it around. Oh, just... God, it's so jittery, so jittery. Oh, you just have to touch this thing and it changes gear. I've got to get used to that. Oof. Round and roundabout, just for fun. Just bring it round for fun. Just be careful. Easy, easy. Holy jeez. Okay, so do I go into A mode? Oh, I'm so down. Oh, those brakes are nice. Those brakes are lovely. Oh, slowing it right down. That's nice. The salesman at Webb's, Andy, great chap. He said to me that you know, this bike just does whatever you want it to do. I'm just going to go around, all the way around. So he says, if you find yourself going too fast into a corner, just throw it into the corner and it will do it. Oh, that roar! Goodness me! Oh. So, Yamaha, what have you created? We have created a monster! You know, I do like it. It's nice, it's nice. Let's just bring it round. It does feel like a small bike. You do feel like you're on a physically small bike, and it's a bizarre concept for me, coming from such a much larger bike with a smaller engine, coming into a physically smaller bike with a huge engine in it, and it's so like flickable but sturdy at the same time. There's so much. It inspires a lot of confidence, I must admit. It's a really nice setup. There's always a bit of wet on this corner, so you've got to be kind of careful if you're on the bike. Just bring it around slowly. Just be gentle. Goodness me, it just wants you to flick it into corners and accelerate as aggressively as you can out of them. It really does inspire a lot of confidence, this bike, at the same time demanding respect. You know, it demands respect. I remember sitting on my R6, you know, in the morning, going to work, and I always felt a little bit of fear getting on the R6. I always felt like there was a little bit of, you know, I was slightly afraid of you, and like the bike was kind of going good. With the Tracer, it's very soft and squidgy, and it's very reassuring. You know, it's very we are one. I feel I've got that same kind of feeling getting on this bike, the MT09. I'm feeling like there's a little bit of fear there, and I like that. I like a bike that kind of demands respect. You know, demands respect. Oh, jeez. Ooh, doggies. Okay. So I might just pull over shortly and just put this thing into A mode just to see what it's all about. So let's just do that now, shall we? Let's just pull over onto the side of the road here. Okay, indicator on. Okay, so here we go. We're going to go into A mode. Here we go. Okay. Now this road up ahead, coming through this village, is very bumpy and very bouncy, and sometimes in the Tracer I have to literally stand on the pegs going over some of these. I'm quite intrigued to see how this bike feels going over the same bumps. So I'm just going to leave it. I'm in second gear. We're just going to bump, and here we go. Here's some bumps. Oh, that's comfy, that is. That's not too bad at all. Okay, and oh, that's so comfortable. Oh, that's good. I like that. That is a big improvement. Big improvement there. Usually I'm getting bounced around and like my arms are getting shot to hell, and I literally have to stand out of the saddle going over those bumps there, but that was as smooth as silk. That's lovely. A mode. Oh god, here we go. Holy Jesus Christ! Oh my God! Oh, Yamaha, what have you done? What have you created? This thing is wonderful. And there's lots of tractors up ahead and using the brakes. That's lovely. That's reassuring. Oh, this guy's going to let me go past. Thank you. Down a second. Okay. A few spots of rain there. Have to keep an eye on that. God, there's so much power coming off. It's just instant power. That's first gear. I'm usually braking in second into this corner. That's first gear on the MT09. Oh my God, it's so twitchy. Oh, it's awful. I do apologise if I'm taking these corners terribly, but you know, yeah, we're getting a few spots of rain now, so oof. I don't know if you can change modes while riding. I'm guessing you can't. Close the throttle. Oh, you can. Oh, that's good. I like that. You can just close the throttle and change modes while you're riding. Brilliant. Okay, so I'm back in standard now, just because we're getting some spots of rain. I'm going to take this chat for you nicely. Just give it some. Goodness me. I think when this thing hits about 9,000 RPM, the engine starts growling at you like it's angry. It's wonderful. Now this road as well is very bouncy and bumpy on the previous bike, so it's lovely to be riding on this and not being shaken around like a ragdoll. It's a little bit bouncy here, but not a problem. Using these brakes, those brakes are really good. I like them. They're good. They are good for me. It's a bit bumpy actually. Around this bit. This bike makes travelling over kind of bumpy ground very easy. What are you doing? Oh! Oh my God, this thing is incredible. So I'm trying to think of a way to sum up the MT09 in one word. I'm trying to think of a word. Whereas like the Street Triple, from everyone says the Street Triple is all about performance and refinement and, you know, quality, you know, that kind of, those kind of words. The KTM is all about precision. It's the scalpel, yeah. For me, the MT09 is, I think the best way to describe the MT09 is unhinged. You know, the bike is slightly unhinged, like the elevator doesn't go all the way to the top, if you know what I mean. The, you know, if the MT09 and the Street Triple and the KTMs are all brothers and sisters at a family barbecue, the MT09 would be the sibling that's trying to skateboard off the garage roof just to get a few laughs from everybody. That's who this bike is. It's the bike. It's the sibling with a nervous twitch, the nervous tick. You know, the kind of the head twitches from side to side now and again. And I love that about this bike. It's raw. It's to the point. It's got bags of power, way too much power than you can ever possibly need. And it's just willing to send you into the next dimension at the twist of the wrist. And in saying that, yes, it's got all the power, but at the same time, it is amazingly comfortable. You know, yes, if my right hand wasn't gripping the accelerator as tightly as it has been for the last however many minutes, this is remarkably comfortable. It really is. In terms of the seating position and the foot pegs, they're not exactly behind me. I'm not at 90 degrees, but that is mega comfortable. I've mentioned that the first when I started riding it, I'm slightly perched forward, but that is remarkably comfortable for such a sporty, focused bike. I noticed this particular model has the little wind deflector, the official Yamaha wind deflector. You know, there is a moderate amount of blast on the chest when you're going at high speed. There's no uncomfortable buffeting of the helmet, which is great. I'm not wobbling around. And I think, you know, a degree of wind blast on a bike like this is probably a good thing. You know, it's good to be reminded just how fast you're going. Okay. Okay, we're just going to stop here and have a quick look around the bike. Indicator switch off. Kickstand down. So yeah, this is the 2019 Yamaha MT09. So this is the standard model. This is the Fluo Ice with the red accents. It is a really nice bike. I do like it. It's very to the point and aggressive. There's MT, classic MT, LED headlamps at the front. We've got dual 298mm discs, 4-pot calipers at the front, full Akrapovic system on this particular model that's been given to me for the day. We've got the rear wheel license plate, number plate holder at the back. Now, apparently on the Yamaha catalogue, you can get this mounted under the seat as a traditional motorcycle would. You can, if you don't like the way this one looks, you can actually get a slimmed down version of that rear number plate holder. So if I was to have this bike, I would certainly just get the slimmer version because I do like it as it is. I do like that. So there we go. Lovely bike, isn't it? Let's just bring it around, as you see. Okay. Okay, let's press on, shall we? Okay, we're just going to use the fabulous turning circle of the bike and just turn it around like so easy, so simple. Oh, yeah, that front end lifts, that front end lifts. I like that I can put both feet down with absolute ease. That's really nice compared to the my MT07 Tracer. I've just become so accustomed to putting one leg down when I come to junctions or to come to stops, but it's quite reassuring to be able to put both feet almost flat on the floor. It's lovely. I like the little exhaust burbles, you know, when you're coming down the gears, coming to those low revs, the exhaust just kind of burbles a little bit. It's quite nice. I like that. So yes, how to summarise the Yamaha MT09 2019 edition? Well, I guess on the whole, this package hasn't really changed much over the years. They've refined it. They've added a few little extras here to add a, kind of increase the that standard value that you're going to be getting on the standard package. But from my own experience as a first ride, on the first go on this machine, it is raw. It is wonderful. It is massively overpowered. But that's not a bad thing. It's just great, you know. In this, it does come with a few comforts of traction control and riding modes and ABS. So you do have those there, which is fantastic. But this bike is to the point and raw, and I like that. I'm intrigued to try the Triumph Street Triple, which is all about, I've seen the quality, the finish of those bikes and the over-engineering of the Hondas, and the KTM with the innovation of, electronics packages coming out of its ears. This thing is a straight-up bike with a huge engine, some extra little gadgets and gizmos on it. And yes, it doesn't have the finesse and the finish of some of the other competitors in its class, but it's £8,000. You could probably haggle your dealer down a few £100 if you wanted to, and you get so much bike for that amount of money. You get Yamaha build quality, reliability, and a bike that just wants you to have incredible fun on it. It really does. I mean, on paper this thing ticks so many boxes, and on top of the engine, on top of the performance and the way this thing flicks from side to side and goes into corners, you've also got a massively comfortable riding position. You're slightly perched, as again this is a sports bike, but you're still perched, but you're still comfortable. The seat is reasonably comfortable. I've been sat on this thing for a couple of hours, and yeah, I can feel my butt a little bit, but on the whole, I'm not in excruciating pain. Whereas on the R6, I would be hurting all over, and I just couldn't wait to stop. But with this bike, I just can't wait to keep riding again. So, and that's the hallmark of a fantastic bike for me. I'm not looking for the next stop, which is great. I'm on a fantastically sporty, awesome bike, and I just want to keep going. So, yes, if you're in the market for a naked sports bike that's relatively affordable against its competitors, then really do consider the MT09. It ticks a lot of boxes. It puts a huge smile on your face. And it sounds awesome as well, especially with that full system on as well. Bring it around. Oh, and the sun's coming out. What a lovely way to conclude the afternoon and the ride. Thank you very much for joining me today, everybody. This has been Ready Set Go on this first ride of the 2019 Yamaha MT09. It has been a wonderful ride. It has been an exhilarating ride on this wonderfully unhinged 900cc triple. Thank you very much, people. Drive safe, ride safe, and I shall see you next time.